bread right now.
Need that.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody, to Blame Your Brother. We are back once again this week without a guest. We will get into that in just a little bit. But anyway, there are two of us that come to you every week. I am one half of this duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, Glenn Jackson, the spiritual midget, Mr. 40%, the voice of the people, Mr. Wonderful. And this gentleman sitting over here to my left, it is John.
Hey, everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, so Blame Your Brother. We stream this show every Thursday night at 8 p.m. I don't want to say every, but the majority of Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/blameyourbrother, youtube.com/blameyourbrother, you can come hang out with us. We got our good buddy in the chat, Half Pint, a.k.a. Marlon, a.k.a. the voice of the wrestlers. He sent me a story he wants us to talk about, so we'll get into that in just a little bit. It's a woo moment, but we will break all that down. But we were going to have a guest come in studio this week. His name is Kyle. He's running for office. He had a near-death experience, and I've not heard from this guy in a week. I've texted him. I sent him messages. So if you know a Kyle Mulligan, is that his name? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
If you know a Kyle Mulligan, can you check on this guy? Because I've never had a guest ghost me completely when they're the ones that wanted to be on the show. So I don't know. We got Jason Steen. That's our guy in the chat. Jason, always sending positive vibes your way, brother. We know what you're going through, and we're with you. And I got a little update about the Katie Quackenbush situation. We'll just start off with that real quick. So we thought Katie Quackenbush was going to be sentenced last week. Turns out it got delayed. It's going to be a couple months later. I may or may have not learned that from Mr. Inside Connection, Jason Steen. So Katie Quackenbush is a free woman at this point. There you go. All right. I do want to give a big shout out. I'm wearing this shirt that the chat seems to like. It says Nashville versus all of y'all. I like this shirt. This shirt is from the people of Local 615. If you go to local615.com, they've got just a plethora of great shirts on there. I'm definitely going to go be buying more shirts. So I've noticed soccer is the big thing now in town. Everyone's getting behind the soccer team, soccer club, and I want to go out to a game at some point. It looks fun. And so I saw this on their Twitter timeline. I said, I got to have that shirt. I loved it. Nashville versus all of y'all. It just looks great. It fits great. So I would just encourage you, and I told him I'd give him a shout out. Nashville, Local 615, Local 615. Go to local615.com. Lots of great shirts. Tell them you heard about them on Blame Your Brother, and maybe that you get a discount code or something. I don't know. But anyways, I love great shirts. Whenever I buy a shirt, John, number one, the design's like the top. Now, you're going to tell me if it's how you do it. Number two, though, almost number one is the fit.
Yeah.
If the shirt does not fit me correctly, and I am a guy, I have to have, if this neck is loose, I'm not wearing it. I will not wear it. I don't care if it's the best looking shirt. I have gone to methods to shrink the necks of shirts I own, which you can do. It can be done. And it's not fun though. And you have to, anyway. So what do you look for in t-shirts?
Design first, and then the feel of it, how comfortable it is. Yeah.
Soft cotton has me ruined. I cannot wear standard cotton shirts. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I have WWE shirts, and I'm like, they're like regular cotton. I can't do it. Just can't wear them. So these are nice, man. So anyways, check them out. Tell them you heard about them on here. Would love you to go check them out and support Nashville, So, all right. Well, let's get moving along. Hey, we got Chris Sinzak in the chat. Holy crap. Everybody's stopping by tonight. Heck yeah, dude. Chris Sinzak of, oh my God, the Decibel Geek, one of the most popular podcasts in Nashville, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And they explore 80s, 70s, 90s, all kinds of hard rock. They put on the Great Rock and Pod Expo in town in Nashville. So, Chris, thank you for stopping by, man. It's great. knowing those guys, it's just great to see. John, what in God's name is he talking about? Who knows? What is Marlon talking about? Anyways, let's jump on it something real quick. Let's jump on, since we're just sorted all over the place. I mean, we were definitely ready for a guest, and then the guest is not here. So today's Mount Rushmore will be near-death experiences, and we were discussing this before the show starts, and John's list is going to be off the chain today, man. I think me and you, we'll get to it. We'll discuss it, but I think we had different definitions, and it was done, like, what, today, this morning?
Not even this morning.
Okay, whatever it was.
This afternoon.
Yes, so whatever, who knows. All right, Marlon wanted us to talk about, now, brother, we love wrestling. I'm going to SummerSlam at the end of July. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be a fun time. But something's happening that weekend that is a little bit scary to me, but people are excited about it. I've heard other big wrestling podcasts discuss it. Ric Flair is going to wrestle for the last time. Now, I don't know how old Ric Flair is, brother, but he's got to be in his 70s, right?
At least, yeah.
Okay, at least. And they say he's having his last match. And I'm thinking, yeah, it could be literally his last match.
His last everything.
Would you go to this event? I honestly, I'm scared to go, bro, because I really think he might die in the ring. I'm being 100% serious.
I mean, I'd be torn because I'm like you. I don't want to witness that. I don't want to see that.
I don't either.
But if it's all safe, and it would be something iconic. You know, I saw Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah, because heart attack. But you're saying I saw his last match, which in wrestling, what's the last match? Okay, so Half Pint, you're in the chat. Are you going to be there? I want to know because I might go. I mean, I'm thinking about going. Me and John, we might have to go out there, man. Stop by. Chris Insect said, I've got an event going on in July. I would like to extend an invitation to you two. My treat. All right. Well, let us know, Chris. All
right.
I would. Sure. Yeah. Anything free is great. When is too old in wrestling? Is there, I mean,
I think it really boils down to your health. If you're healthy and you're fit, I mean, go out and do it. Is Ric Flair healthy and fit?
I mean,
I don't think so.
There are videos of him running the ropes, though, and it doesn't look great. I mean,
No, I'm saying when you're healthy and fit,
no,
you look it.
No, I mean he's doing like bumps and stuff in this video. He's working with Jay Lethal, but it
doesn't look good.
I mean, brother, you think the people coming there are expecting a 5-star match?
You asked me a question. I'm giving you an answer.
So I've heard the rumors.
When you can take the bumps and it still looks like you're healthy, and it still looks good. Then yeah, but I mean, if it doesn't,
I mean, okay, look, I hear what you're saying. I've heard from another podcast I listen to that he's going to be wrestling Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It'd be those two, and then it'd be 2 tag teams. So I don't think they're going to be doing the majority of the work in the ring, John. Ric Flair is not going to be going 60 minutes in the ring. I think it's just going to be like he'll take like Stone Cold at WrestleMania. Everyone was concerned he wasn't going to be able to do it. He stepped out there. He had a match. Took a few bumps, and it was nice. Oh. So if you're in Nashville.
Ric Flair's a lot older than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
It's a Metamucil cage match from Chris Gonzaga. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Metamucil on a pole match. Oh, that would be great.
They'd never get off the pole.
They would. It'd be a never-ending match. The match is still going on 2 years later. Okay. I might want to go to that. I'm just putting that. It's going to be here in Nashville, so there's going to be a lot of steamboats out. Well, Ric Flair, good luck, brother. He might be wrestling a broom, literally. They said Ric Flair could wrestle a broom. He might be wrestling a broom in this match.
It was going to be him versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
It was him and the Rock and Roll Express versus Ricky Steamboat. Oh, it was Ric Flair and FTR versus Steamboat and the Rock and Roll Express. Now, the Rock and Roll Express are like old dudes, man. They're not no spring chickens either, but they go. So, anyways, if you're interested in that, it's happening. Ric Flair will be there, from what I understand. But card is subject to change, just like our guest tonight. Card is subject to change. So, all right, we got all that random stuff out of the way. July 31st. Nashville Fairgrounds, if you're interested. And listen, if you're listening from out of town, don't think the Nashville Fairgrounds is some great arena. It is a rundown piece of junk. But that being said, I've seen many matches there, and it is a great environment. Going to matches in the South is
It's a different experience.
This experience in itself, minus the wrestling, the fans alone.
Yeah, the fans.
I was at a show, John, where it was a black tag team versus what I would only assume was a gay tag team. They never came out and said we're gay, but they were acting as if they were effeminate men. Okay, so I don't know what the gimmick was. The crowd did not know what to do. Their heads almost exploded in the deep South. They were like, we can't root for them. We can't root for them. I mean, they were almost ready to jump in and beat them down themselves. It was really weird. That's what you get here in the South. So,
I've gone to a wrestling match where literally the ceiling of the place that I was in, you couldn't do a top rope dive.
Hell no. I mean, the ceilings
not
were
gonna happen.
10 feet high, brother.
Yeah.
You'd go through the roof. So, all right, a lot of talk about the fairgrounds. Fairgrounds is nice, but it's about where Ric Flair should have his last match, probably. Okay. All right, so John, what is going on with you? Anything happening this week? We learned last week you were part African, you're part Jewish. Has that changed your life in any way? I mean, you still look white, so you're getting all those white benefits. Life is good. Now, anything going on with you? Anything?
Not really. I saw Doctor Strange.
Okay. We saw Doctor Strange. Now, just spoiler free, because I know a lot of people in the chat probably haven't seen it. What are your thoughts? Give me a scale 1 to 5. And I always say this is a 1 to 5 scale. 1, I never watch it. 2, watch it if it's on TV. 3, rent it, but don't pay, if it's free on a rental service. 4, you pay to rent it. 5, rush out and see it at the theater. Where would you be with Doctor Strange?
If it depends on your level of Marvel, because it's must see if you're trying to connect everything together.
Yes.
I mean, you have to. But if you were just as a movie, rent it. Watch it if it's free.
Wow. Oh, my God. You're giving it a 3?
Yeah.
Wow, John. Are you serious?
This
has freaking Scarlet Witch in it, dude.
This you have to when you have that Marvel title attached to it, you are held up to a higher bunch of standards. Now, if this was a DC movie, it'd be a 4.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's better than Dark World, Thor: The Dark World, but
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I thought it was fun enough. I thought it was, once again, it was so far out of a Marvel movie. It was a Sam Raimi movie. I enjoyed it. You just got to go in knowing that. I think it helps to know that. So
there was a lot of. He definitely put his stamp on it in several ways.
100.
Yeah.
More Raimi than Marvel.
Yeah,
especially the third act. I mean, there was such bizarre stuff going on. That's why I was like, no, you got to. I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. I see what you're saying with the 3. I see what you're saying. I can't argue too much.
There's a trope in comic books, and I mean literal comic books when you're reading comic books, where there are altercations where you're like, why are they fighting? This could be resolved in way easier. And almost the whole movie I was feeling that way.
Well, I mean, yeah, you get into magic though. There's really no rules, right?
Yeah.
So you're applying conventional rules to magic when there's no rules. So 3. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's your review of Doctor Strange. I will go see anything. What's her name? God,
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes, I will see anything she's in. Anything, dude. I went through a period where I was just like, I'm watching all of her movies. I love her. There's something that she's magnetic on screen. The rest of the cast, but no, there's some reveals, bro, that were.
That was pretty neat.
We got to talk about this all.
There was definitely a lot of fan service in there.
When this goes off, we're discussing things that happen. Now that you've seen, I want to talk about it. All right. Let's keep moving. I do want to say, I had a quote unquote job interview today.
Oh boy.
Just to transfer to another part of where I work. I don't even know if it was really an interview. I don't really know what happened. I was never asked a single question. I know the guy vaguely, and we just talked about our history for 10 minutes, and he was like, all right, well, we'll let you know what we're doing. I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't asked a single question, dude. Not one. I think he said, do you have any questions for me? And I'm like, no, not really. It was weird. What I think is that they were already going to give the job to someone else, which is fine. It was just a weird experience. And it was over the phone, too, so it was really weird. But anyway. All right. Let's get on to the news, man. We got some things happening this week, so let's just start with the big one. No, I mean, it's like a rerun here. We're on, this is like repeat television, but there was another mass shooting in America. This one we're going to talk about specifically was in Buffalo, New York, and a white man, he's a white adult. He's 18 years old. A young adult, white male, walked into a grocery store and killed 10 people. And why did he do it? There's so much to unpack here. Why did he do it? Well, he did it because he's been listening to conservatives, alt-righters, Fox News, Trump's rhetoric about the replacement theory. Now, John, have you ever heard of the replacement theory?
I've heard it, but I don't know what it is.
I was not even really aware that this was a movement being pushed. I mean, I've heard the rhetoric, so I understand. I didn't understand there was a name for it. Basically, that the Democrats and the leftists are bringing all these immigrants into the country where they can take over. And so they think the white people are going to be replaced by the immigrants. And so there is a fear among the...
aren't most immigrants white?
Well, they're saying Hispanic, I guess. Yes. It's a crazy theory anyway. It's like, so the Democrats are banking on what? They're going to bring over all these people that barely speak English, get them to vote for them. They won't even vote. The average American doesn't even vote, dude. It's like a third of the country that's eligible to vote votes. It's a stupid theory. Anyway, point is, you've heard Trump speak of it. He speaks of all these rapists are coming over, all these murderers are coming over, and so people are afraid. People are genuinely afraid. After 9/11 happened, everyone said, oh, watch out. If you know a Muslim, they're going to kill us. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? 99% of these people are like, 99.9% of these people are all like good people.
They're super peaceful.
I know. The Quran is a very peaceful religion. I mean, Christianity is a peaceful religion. I mean, come on, man. You're just picking extremist, crazy people do these things. So this guy had this rhetoric in his mind. He shared this with people beforehand, which I don't understand why not a single person said anything about it. And then the guy walks in, streams it on Twitch, so people are watching on Twitch. Those people got to be held accountable. I mean, they got to be held accountable for this to some degree. Kills the people, then surrenders peacefully. How are these white men that do these mass shootings, every one of them is taken in cuffs just peacefully? You have a man who presents alleged counterfeit bill murdered on the streets, man. While a number of people, this guy walks in and openly says in a manifesto, which was multiple pages long, that he was going to kill, all these people that weren't white. They need to get rid of them. This guy's handcuffed and just walked in. And he's going to plead not guilty.
Which he did.
Okay, so there we go. So he pleads not guilty. And this hits the impact of, look, I understand the impact of Trump, what he did to America. And I could talk about that all day, right? And I have, and I would continue to. What is being done? While this shooting was happening, another one happened, and while that one was happening, another one happened. There were 3 shootings interrupted by each other on the same day. What the hell's going to be done here, John? This is getting out of control. If any other situation happens like this, if a drug was introduced to society, they would ban it immediately. They would ban the drug. If some type of car was exploding and killing people on the streets, we would ban that car immediately. We'd say, take that damn car off the streets. These people are taking these AR-15s, they're modifying them, and they're killing mass amounts of people. Look, I understand it's a touchy subject for a lot of people because it's like, I got the Second Amendment, and that's fine. The Second Amendment doesn't really say a whole lot. It just says you have the right to bear arms. That's it. That's left off. That can mean anything. It can mean nothing. We've modified other amendments. I'm not even saying we have to modify it. There's got to be some control over these guns. This is getting out of control. I mean, do we live in a society now where you go to the grocery store with your kids, some guy comes in, he could just mow all of you down? Every other country's had this problem. They've solved it. America is so clung fast. The NRA is so deep in these lobbyist pockets that nothing's going to be done. And I'm just like, what are we doing? I know you probably lean more conservative with the gun stuff. talk to me.
Not with those.
What are we going to do?
There's no purpose to owning one of those.
They say, well, in case the government tries to get us, man, we need our AR-15s. I mean, so you're with me. There's got to be something done.
I mean, like you said, I mean, if we had a rocket
Yeah.
in our basement,
Yeah.
they would come and take it away from us.
Right. Because it could kill multiple people.
Where's
right?
the line?
Where is the line? A car. Your car. Okay. People are like, oh, you could use a car to run into people like they did in Charlottesville. You know what you have to do with cars? You have to register them. You have to have insurance on them. They can be, your license can be taken away. We need something to stop these guns. Look, I'm not saying take the guns from people because they're there, and I'm not stupid. I know we're not going to go confiscate every gun in America.
Yeah.
That's idiotic. That wouldn't work if we wanted it to. We've got to start registering these guns. You've got to have some type of license to own a gun. The Constitution does not say you have the right to bear arms without a license. It doesn't say that. It's an open-ended statement.
No.
I mean, my God, man, this is out of control. These are people that are being murdered here. Okay, so Chris Sinzak says in the chat, we had another shooting close to home last night in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Really? I wasn't. I mean,
It was at MTSU. They were hosting I believe it was Riverdale High School's graduation,
whoa.
which my nephew graduated. Well, he didn't graduate, but his girlfriend graduated. They actually left early,
What?
so they weren't there at the time.
Oh my God.
But if they were there 15, 20 minutes
what
later.
happened? I mean, what happened?
I'm not. They're being very tight.
Oh, this
with,
investigate. Okay.
with the investigation, but I knew about it because my sister called me.
Okay.
I mean, first thing she said, "David's okay." That's not
okay.
you, my nephew's name.
Nephew, yeah.
She's like, "David's okay," and then I'm thinking, "What was he, an accident? What happened?" She's like, "There was a shooting at the."
Wow.
But-
Okay. Wow.
But one died and one is in critical care.
Chris says, I support the Second Amendment. And I think he mimics most of America and myself and probably John. But it needs to be more difficult to get a gun than to get a driver's license. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sick of these 1776 people around town. They're thinking, in their mind, they've created this illusion where the government's going to come for them. The government doesn't care about you. Okay, I just want you to know this. I mean, they care about you to some degree. They don't care about you specifically, Mr. 1776. They're not coming to your door to get your guns if you live peacefully and don't break the law. Okay, that's not the world we live in. You don't need your damn AR-15 or 15 of them or whatever modified. I would say the minute people start modifying these guns, that's got to stop. That has to stop immediately. John, we couldn't even operate a pirate FCC radio out of your house without being arrested.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, the FCC would come get us immediately if we did this. Me and you right now, we could go to any guns fair when they happen. We could walk in and buy any gun off the records in the parking lot, modify that sucker, walk in and just start blasting people. I mean, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
And these conservatives, look, I understand. Look, once again, I'm not saying take your guns away. These things have to start. We have to start registering these guns, man. And so they're trying to pass laws in New York, and of course the Republicans voted against it. Of course they have, because once again, John, they're in the pockets of the NRA, which is a multi-million, possibly billion-dollar organization that has heavy lobbyist ties. So you could sit here and go, well, you know, I'm far right and I hate the government. And I hate this. Well, you know what? You're buying into it if you're saying that, because they are being bought and sold. Your politicians are. All right. This is from Chris Sinzak. Student that graduated last year was killed by a 17-year-old. Last night, I mean. They still haven't caught the suspect. My daughter graduated last week. Just glad that didn't happen while we were there. Well, Chris, we are with you, brother. And it is getting to the point where you have to be worried if you have kids.
Yeah.
You know, in schools. I thought, honestly, when Sandy Hook happened, the school shooting, I thought that was it. Usually when kids are involved, things get done, right? That's the moment where, like, we're getting things done here. Kids are getting killed. No, Sandy Hook, multiple kids got killed, and they're just like, well, we just need more. You know what we need? You know what the solution is? We're not going to do anything with the guns. We're going to give teachers the guns. I mean, bro, come on. We all went to school. You want your teachers having guns? Oh, this is crazy. Daniel's in the chat. Caught the suspect in Clarksville earlier today. Well, hello, Daniel. Thanks for joining us. So I know you're probably leaning more right, but come on, man. I need some of these Republicans to give me an answer. This is out of control, guys. This is getting out of control. Where I think just something happened where there's been more kids killed by guns than something else. And anyway, it's just disgusting. Do you have anything else to say about it?
No.
Okay. Let's go to some lighter fare then. Or maybe not lighter, but women's soccer. There we go. That's about as far away from guns as you could get, right? For a long time, there's been conversations about women's soccer. And I would say this is the one sport where women are been more successful than men in the world stage in soccer, right? I mean, I know women have won championships. I don't think men have ever won a championship that I'm aware of.
The U.S. men?
Yes, right? No. So they've been constantly saying, we want equal pay. And all the guys come out and like, no, man, they're not equal pay, blah, blah, blah. Well, today it's happening. There's going to be equal pay in soccer. The women will get paid as much as the men. And a lot of people obviously are celebrating this. A lot of people are probably upset. The Clay Travises of the world. I checked his Twitter. He didn't really say anything. But U.S. Soccer, under the agreement that was set, will become the first federation in the world to equalize FIFA World Cup prize money awarded to the teams for participating in the World Cup. It's a historic moment, said U.S. Soccer President Cindy Parlow, blah, blah, blah. These agreements have changed the game forever. John, thoughts?
I get for certain sports why there's a pay difference.
Right.
I mean, if a certain sport is bringing in X amount of dollars and the female equivalent is not bringing in the same amount.
Like WNBA?
Yeah.
Versus NBA, yeah.
I mean, obviously, they're not going to get paid the same amount.
Right.
So, I mean, I get it. Whereas, I mean, if it's bringing in the same amount, then by God, pay them the same amount.
I'm with you. I mean, I think it's a great moment. Women's soccer is electric. I mean, like, it was really fun to watch when they were a couple of years ago, and they have a chance to win. Men's, here's the reason I can't get into soccer on the U.S. level. They're just not good. I mean, if you like a local sports team, right, and they just suck continuously, they're never good, right? Like the Titans a couple of years ago, it's hard to get into it because you just know, like, these people are going to lose every freaking time, man. Like, there's no fun in it. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, what's in it? Like the Cleveland Browns. How excited are you going to get being a Cleveland Browns fan? I mean, I know they get excited, and it's been better the last couple of years, but for a while it was just like, what am I doing? I'm not going to waste my freaking time watching this.
Yeah.
And the same way, the men's U.S. soccer are not going to beat the big dogs. It's just not happening. We don't have enough talent invested into it. We don't have the play. Like, our athletes are going other sports. Where are you going to go? You can dunk a basketball. You're 6'6", okay, like LeBron James. Or you can go play soccer. I mean, you're going to go play basketball every time. You know, LeBron James would have been a hell of a soccer player. Like, a lot of these guys would have been great soccer players. But anyway, it's good for them. Historic first, women's rights. I'm all for it. I think all of us are. So there we go. Good for them. All right, last story before we get into our contentious Mount Rushmore. The contentious Mount Rushmore. We got a few more stories, but UFOs. Now, John, are you aware that the government is openly admitting that there are UFOs? Like, openly saying UFOs are real. Sorry, what is going on right now? This happened during COVID and no one talked about it.
I'm like, at this point, might as well.
Key lawmakers warned people at a House hearing on Tuesday that an unidentified aerial phenomenon, properly known as UFOs, must be investigated and taken seriously as a potential threat to national security. This is at a House meeting. Like, this is serious stuff. The event marked the first congressional public hearing on UFOs in decades. For many lawmakers and intelligence and military personnel working on unexplained aerial phenomena, the bigger concern with the episodes is not that alien life is visiting Earth, but rather that a foreign adversary like Russia or China might be fielding some kind of next-generation tech. Even though, he said, they talked to me, for too long the stigma associated with UAPs has gotten in the way of good intelligent analysis. Pilots avoided reporting or were laughed at when they did because they're, oh, you saw an alien and an alien came to got you. Today we know better. UAPs, unidentified, what does that stand for? Oh, shoot. Anyways, unidentified aerial phenomenons has gotten in the way. So we know it's true. They are real. They need to be investigated. So At this point, they're just saying it could be China or Russia. Could be. They've shown clips of the John. These things are moving at speeds that are unexplainable. I mean, they're doing things that should not be done in the air. So, is there any percentage, like, you know where I stand on it. I believe there's probably aliens, but are they here? I mean, I think we've seen them by now, but who knows? What percentage do you think aliens have visited this planet? Do you think there's
0%?
0%.
0%.
You don't think maybe they flew by and said, no, we're out of here. Like, they looked down and said, that dude's president of that country.
I don't think
bouncing.
the technology will ever exist.
But John, the technology existing right now, these planes are like doing crazy
No.
things.
I'm talking about interstellar travel to the point where
okay, what if they're more intelligent than us and they've learned how to travel through wormholes? I mean, that would be the way to do it. It's what most.
That's the only way.
Yes.
But
I don't know the physiology of an alien. It could be completely different than us, right? I mean, they could have teleportation. We don't know. Everything's a possibility. I just say across all the universes, which is infinite, do you believe there's life out there? I
think it'd be ridiculous to say that there isn't.
Intelligent life, not like a bug, and not like a virus, like humanoids or whatever.
Intelligent thought. Yeah,
I agree.
I think that.
You look hesitant to answer. I'm not going to run you down. Yes, obviously, yes. Over an infinite amount of time, anything's possible. The great one they say is if you had infinite over time, if you had monkeys just sit down and just bang on a typewriter. They're monkeys. They can't speak English. If you did that over an infinite amount of time, one of them would, with the random letters, would be able to type out a Shakespeare play. Like they would create a Shakespeare play through the randomization of the letters. Over infinite, obviously not over 100. You're talking infinite. We can't even comprehend infinite. You know what I'm saying? So, well, there you go. I mean, the government's saying UFOs are real. Last story. Our friend Ender, his wife works with Chris Lee, Knows Best, the TV show. Not good news for them. Chris Lee Knows Best star to stand trial in Atlanta. A federal trial for reality television stars Todd and Julie Chrisley on charges including bank fraud and tax evasion is set to start Monday in Atlanta. Oh, boy. We know the government will come after you for taxes. I mean, that's what they got Al Capone on.
Yeah.
That's what
all the stuff that he did.
Right. So it said the trial's getting underway just days after they announced they are moving forward with a new dating series, Love Limo. Oh, my God. Make this stop. Hosted by Todd Chrisley. What do you think Love Limo is? I'm not going to look it up. What is this show, John?
I mean,
if I'm coming to you, John, I got a show.
Guess,
Love Limo. Let's go. Come on. Pitch
If I were to guess, I would say it'd be like a blind date type thing with a mix of kind of like, Jerry Seinfeld's, comedians in cars.
I don't even want to. I don't care.
That would be my guess.
Yes. It's some blind date show for sure, right? I mean, probably. I don't even know. I don't care. I don't even know why I discussed. Anyways, let's continue on with the story. The Chrisleys were initially indicted in August 2019. A new indictment was filed in February. Prosecutors alleged that the couple submitted fake documents to banks when applying for loans. Julie Chrisley also submitted a false credit report and fake bank statements. If that's true, they're cooked, dude. They're going to prison. If they know you're out there submitting false applications, you're done, dude. So
I mean, the big clue off here should be the fact that they are applying for loans. Aren't they already loaded?
Well, according to the TV show, right? I mean, I think people think fake it till you make it. You can do that on a podcast, right? You could go out, you could blow up your social media and fake it and go, yeah, we got 10,000 listeners, and no one's ever going to be wiser, and there's no crime in that necessarily. I mean, you could probably get sponsorship under that, and maybe there's some gray area there. If you go to a bank and you give them false documents to get a loan, you've committed some serious criminal offenses that you will be held accountable for. We know that. So we'll be watching that. That should be an interesting trial. So I don't know what to say about that, but there you go. Chrisley Knows Best. Love Limo. I got to look it up now. All right. So okay, let's look up Love Limo.
Yeah, it's in the chat. Why don't you type out what do you think Love Limo means?
What is love? What is the Love Limo concept? Okay, here we go. Love. Oh shoot! I hit live limo, and it's like, do you want to order a limo right now? Like, no, I didn't even know you could do that. Can I just order a limo right now? It comes like on the spot.
Yeah.
I thought that would be like. I thought there'd be a little bit more to it than that. It's not like an Uber, is it? I mean,
that is now. There are Ubers that are limos.
Todd Chrisley, the host, new reality dating series Love Limo. Don't expect the Chrisley family to disappear from TVs anytime soon. When it comes, okay, here's the press release. When it comes to matters of the heart, singles are willing to do almost anything to find love, even if that is putting their dating life into the hands of Todd Chrisley. In the new series Love Limo, hosted and executive produced by Todd Chrisley, he guides one unlucky in love single on a whirlwind day of speed dating that will hopefully end in the date, night, and match of your dreams. Todd believes you can learn everything you need to know about someone in the first 20 minutes of meeting them. He's about to put that theory to the test. You cannot know everything about someone in the first 20 minutes. Is this what these people...
You don't know about there's things we didn't know about each other till we lived with each other for 6 months.
What is this theory? Is this man out here pushing this theory that you marry someone after 20 minutes? Dude, this is what I come back to this and we'll jump into the Mount Rushmore, but we have a number of people in society go, we just got to keep the gays from getting married, okay? They're like, it's a very sacred institution.
I sure hope people aren't taking like little nabs of clips.
This is sacred? We have reality shows where people are getting married on the reality show. Really, is marriage sacred now? Is it that sacred? We have a love limo, 20 minutes. Come on, bro. Get out of here. I hate this. I hate it. I understand when people hate the Kardashians. I understand it. It's all trash. Let's calm down and let's go. All right. So we're going to have our guest here. He's running for office. His name is Kyle Mulligan. I'm being serious here. I know people listening that may know him. If you know where this dude is, please just
reach out to him.
I'm concerned, honestly. I mean, I love kind of laughing about it, but I'm only laughing because I'm like, I don't want to think about something happens. I've never had a guest. Chris could tell you, Marlon could tell you, Jason, all these people that have done podcasting or some type of entertainment. It is rare when the person never sends you anything, dude. Okay? Especially when they instigated the conversation. That's what's even weirder. Yeah. Yes, if we reached out to freaking Nicolas Cage, I wouldn't expect him to write us back and come on the podcast, okay? But anyway, he is a guy running for office. And he had an interesting story like that's been written about. He almost died at a young age. He was in a coma. And he talked about those experiences in an article. It was very fascinating. I mean, he was still suffering a lot of damage from that like months later. He was still having hallucinations, still, the physical toll of it. So we figured, well, why not do the Mount Rushmore of near-death, is it called near-death experiences? Near-death experiences in movies. So we're going to look at movies and see where now, here's where it gets contentious. Me and John apparently have two different definitions of near-death. We have two different lists. Chris asked, any chance of another 24-hour live stream? Definitely not. Unless we're getting paid big money. No, we're never doing that again. Never. I would never say never, but probably never doing that again. Okay. John, what do you think?
I went with more close calls.
So John sends me near death, and now he's saying close calls. I would say.
Read the text.
It says, movie close calls. Near death experiences. I mean, John, that's like putting two. Hey, I don't even know what to say. I want a Coke, make it a Sprite, and I bring you Sprite, and like, that's not a Coke. Yeah, because you said Sprite after Coke. I mean, the last thing is what I'm going to say. I think a near-death experience is when people describe, oh, I saw the light. I saw the light. I saw my relative reaching out to touch my hand. You're saying, I would argue that you're describing any movie. Name an action movie. Name Days of Thunder. That's just a random one. Near-death experience, right? I mean, the car flips. He almost dies. All right. Yeah. I mean, so any movie with a car crash with a car flips, that near-death? I took it very literal, I guess. This list may not be very good. I'm not saying I have the best list either. I know I'm running John down, but close calls could be every movie is what I'm saying, which could be another list, right? But All right.
Not now.
Well, who goes first this week? I think I do, right?
I think you do. It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, I go first. All right. So I'm going to go near-death experiences. You got to go with one of the best ones in cinematic history. I met one of the actors when I saw him out directing a show. I saw Eric Stoltz one time, and I was like blown away because Eric Stoltz is involved in one of the great cinematic moments in a movie called Pulp Fiction, where Mia Wallace takes a drug, and the drug was a little bit too much for her, and she starts dying on the floor. And the only way to resuscitate her is for Mr. Eric Stoltz to take a adrenaline shot, pierce it through her breastplate, and hit her with the adrenaline. And if you've never seen Pulp Fiction,
Well, he doesn't do it.
that's right. He doesn't do it. He says, I'm not doing it. He gives it
"No,
to John.
you do it."
He gives it to John Travolta to do. And if you've never seen Pulp Fiction before, stop listening to this podcast right now. Put it on pause. Go watch Pulp Fiction. Okay? If people said, what's a movie everyone should see? Pulp Fiction is one of my top 5 movies people have to see. They have to. I mean, it's one of the great movies of all time. But anyway, Mia Wallace is out for the count. Adrenaline hits, and the rest is magic from there. She does not die, as it's a near-death experience. But whenever I think of Pulp Fiction, there's a couple of scenes I think of. I mean, there's some really great scenes in it, but that's one of the ones that stand out, And there's some great lines. There's some great lines in it as well, from Eric Stoltz to John Travolta. But yeah, my number one's got to be Mia Wallace in Pulp Fiction. That's my number one. All right, John.
That's a great scene also because it's almost, some of it is almost slapstick.
Oh, it's very. Yes. Next time I bring the OD to your house. All right.
You need to stab her in a stabbing motion. Do stab her 3 times. No, just do it once. But you can do it hard enough to penetrate.
It's good. It is comedy. It really is a comedic scene, but there's like the stakes are high, I mean, what made this great the first time I watched it was everyone could have died in that movie. And you'd have been like, all right, sounds about right. I mean, like these characters were nobody. These weren't Marvel characters. These were nobodies. And if you've seen his Reservoir Dogs, you're like, well, damn, dude. I mean, everyone just about dies in that movie. So maybe they're all going to die in this movie. But anyways, yeah, Mia Wallace, Pulp Fiction, my number one. John, what's on your number one?
My number one is one of the most recent movies I've seen.
I thought you were going to change your list. All right, go ahead.
I'm sticking to it.
Go ahead.
Spider-Man No Way Home. MJ scene where she's falling, last minute. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
My God,
comes
my
in.
man, this is a big spoiler alert on top of everything else, brother. This is a relatively new movie, man. This is crazy.
Spoiler alert.
I thought you were. Doesn't he save her in another movie? Doesn't like the first Spider-Man, right? Or I don't know, man. Okay,
That's why I think this was he in his.
he saves
universe,
Mary Jane. Oh, he saves Mary Jane in this one. Well, Mary Jane never died.
In his universe,
I
he did.
understand. I understand. There's levels to that movie. Yes, I understand. All right, so your number one is Mary Jane.
Well,
MJ. Not Mary Jane. MJ in No Way Home.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You've already spoiled it. Okay, so she's falling off a building.
Yeah. She's falling off.
And somebody. You could have said somebody. You literally said Andrew Garfield saves her, which, you know what the thing about it, we're going to go some tangents here. So I'm watching this new series with Andrew Garfield. It's called Under the Banner of Heaven. And it's a story about Mormonism. It's like, are you familiar with this case?
I had not heard this, no.
It's a real story. I think his character's composite of a bunch of detectives. And I thought it was about one thing and it became about another. Joseph Smith is like in this movie in flashbacks like quite a bit. It's a TV series, not a movie. It's a series. It's pretty good. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I think you would probably enjoy it than some people. It examines faith and, does your faith allow you to do this? It's on Hulu, I think FX. So,
all right.
I don't know. Watch. But he loves playing religious people because he plays a Mormon in this. He played a Seventh-day Adventist in the war movie.
Yeah.
He played a Jesuit priest in a movie called Silence, directed by Martin Scorsese, that I don't think anyone's ever seen before. And I feel like he's played another person before. He loves the religious movies, man. So anyways. All right, so MJ Falling is your number one.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a list. Okay, my number 2.
Go ahead, and by the way,
So-
you can let me have it in the chat. If
I
you,
think it's hilarious. Okay, my number 2, John's already seen my entire list, so I don't know why I'm already hiding it. I'm going to go, Kiefer Sutherland was in a little movie called Flatliners, and in Flatliners, the movie, and his character was named Nelson Wright, if you're keeping score at home. That's my number 2. Nelson Wright in Flatliners, played by Kiefer Sutherland. And the concept of this movie is these people have discovered that if you die and you get brought back, if you're approaching the light, you're going to see some things, man. You're going to see some things, man, which is it's an absurd concept for a movie. I mean, but a lot like another movie that came out time, Jacob's Ladder, is exploring the afterlife and what happens after you're gone. And in this movie, crazy things are happening, hallucinations and all that. But the concept is a bunch of doctors or whatever they are all get together. And like I said, they're
exploring, trying to find out if there is an afterlife.
Right,
and
yes.
they're trying to do that by
they got
eliciting death.
Yes.
And bringing the person
right.
back.
So they're taking you right over to the edge. I think they put something in them, the shot or something, and then they have to shock them back right before the moment where you're like, oh, these people are done. If you enjoy like 90s movies, it is a good 90s movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember thinking it's interesting concepts. And Kiefer Sutherland back then he was like an A-lister back then, you know. He lives around town, and I see people say they run into him all the time. Bob Mueller ran into him the other day. I saw he posted a selfie with him. I was like, all right. So if you guys see Kiefer Sutherland, but yes, Nelson Wright in the movie Flatliners is my number 2. All right, John, what's your number 2?
My number 2, going with a movie you already mentioned.
Oh, no.
Different scene. Pulp Fiction.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a scene where Jules, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Vince, played by John Travolta, are in this room. They're about to leave. This guy barges in, has them dead to rights. Blast, boom, 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 misses every shot. That's my number 2.
I did say before, that's a pretty good one. That's pretty good. That was Heavenly Intervention. Although, I mean, you know, it is definitely, I think John's doing Mount Rushmore of Close Calls. I'm doing Mount Rushmore of Near-Death Experiences. It's like 2 different lists. Am I going to have to put that on the list? Mount Rushmore of Close Calls, Near-Death Experiences? I guess I'll have to, where people will be like, okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No, it's good.
Wonderful scene.
I mean, it determines where the rest of the movie goes. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's okay. All right, my number 3. Let's go with a superhero movie. And I argue with John. If you're doing Close Calls, that's every superhero movie that's ever come out. I mean, every superhero movie essentially almost is fights villains, almost dies. You know, every Spider-Man movie is 100% that. You know, almost dies. Villains got him dead to rights. He comes back. He beats him. But I'm going to go with the movie The Avengers, which you could argue spawned the rest of the entire story, is when Tony Stark at the end of the movie has to make a decision. The hero's sacrifice. He has to go up and close a portal because all these aliens are coming down. And when he gets up there, he is too high up. His system shuts down, and he's pretty much, I mean, he's dead when he hits the ground. I mean, he's out of it. I think Thor has to bring him back with the electricity from his hammer, but it's a great scene. And honestly, at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I thought, oh my God, are they really killing this guy? Like, because I thought at some point, and it happens way later, but I thought one of these Avengers was going to go down early, you know, in a movie.
And I mean, just the way Iron Man 2 went down.
Right.
It could have been.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because they set up Rhodey.
Yeah. Well, he almost dies in that one too. I mean, literally, he's almost dead. I mean, same thing where so.
But
yeah, Rhodey could have taken over.
And they were all, and even in the movie, they were talking about they let him know that they were setting up the Avengers, and they kind of said they didn't want him.
Right. Yeah.
So,
That would have been crappy movies without, you know.
oh man, he makes
Yeah, he makes it.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. All right, that's my number 3. John, you're number 3.
my number 3.
I'm looking right at it. Oh my God. I mean, brother, you could have, if you didn't tell me the movie and you just told me the character's name, you could have given me 10,000 guesses. I never would have guessed who this was. Do you even know the character's name? Is it even written down on your piece of paper there?
I don't remember her name.
Oh my God.
I remember who
Okay.
saves her.
Go ahead.
In True Lies, Jamie Lee Curtis plays
Somebody.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife. Arnold Schwarzenegger is an undercover spy. At the beginning of the movie, she doesn't even know he's a spy.
Helen.
They're on these. She's in a limo, and a bridge is blown out in front of them, and he is in a helicopter, and he flies over. The limo is able to pull her out of the helicopter through the sunroof. And the reason why I put this on the list is the fact that 90% of that scene was practical effects. And so
that's why it's on your Mount Rushmore.
yeah, I think it's important that the gravitas they had to go to film the scene.
John, I want to stress, I got to come back to this.
Hey,
Do you understand what a Mount Rushmore is?
Theodore Roosevelt is on the Mount Rushmore.
Teddy Roosevelt's a badass. What are you talking about? He was responsible for the national forest. I mean, the entire, if you look across the United States and you see a national forest, that's Teddy Roosevelt. He is one of the most.
He's the 4th best president ever?
He's in the discussion. Oh, some people think he's like one of the top 2. Dude, there's a whole generation of people. There's a podcast called The Art of Manliness. And
he was definitely manly.
Teddy Roosevelt's
I'm
like.
not saying that.
He's like.
I mean, if you have like the art of honesty, I mean, then.
All right, John, give me your 4 best presidents go right now. If you were redesigning the Mount Rushmore, who would be on it?
Lincoln.
Obviously. Good choice.
Washington.
Okay, yeah.
This is how I just start thinking.
Here we go. Because you better have 2 more.
I would go with the other Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt.
All right. I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, it really would be a good argument. I don't know much about the man. I mean, I know he's president for a long time, but.
Okay,
so you can't bring another 4th person above Teddy. Teddy was one of the greats, man. I'm telling you, he's one of the top 10 presidents of all time. He changed the world, man. All right, anyway. True, Helen, that's your last one. Are you done with it? Okay,
yeah,
practical. Yeah. Yes, okay. All right. My last one, I'm going to go with Star Trek, but the reboot Star Trek. I did not enjoy the original Star Trek movies. Just never really spoke to me. I don't care. I mean, I like James Kirk, like played by who's Shatner. I mean, I like the idea of it, but it's kind of dull. But the new ones, Chris Pine plays Captain Kirk, and in the movie Star Trek Into the Darkness, he has a near-death experience, and it's a flip on what happens to Spock in the original movies.
Yeah,
and it just involves some radiation. Sinking into the darkness of death, and Spock has to go save his butt by catching, who's the character's name? Khan. Yeah. So it's really good. I mean, those movies were fun. I could watch those, and legendary. Because, like I said, the reason I like it's a play on the original. Because, like you said, in the original one, Spock, and we were talking about this before it started. Spock actually dies.
Yeah.
And they have to go find him, and it's terrible movies that were made about it. But anyway. My last one, James Kirk in Star Trek Into the Darkness. All right, John, we're up to your last. Do you have?
I have a last one.
Is this going to be? Oh, I thought it was going to be blank. You're just like, for future use. We just put that on there.
I'm going with an animated movie.
Oh, you want to see my list there?
No, I don't.
You sure? You don't want to do?
I'm going with an animated movie.
Okay, yeah.
This is probably closer to your
Sleeping Beauty.
No.
Which would have been a good one.
Might have been a good one.
Because she is alive, right?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on which version you're going. Well,
so.
I mean, Disney, then yes, she's not.
I want to try to
really
guess it. Okay, so you're going to go animated. Is this a Pixar movie or a Disney movie?
Disney.
Oh, really? Okay. Old or new?
Old.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, it's based on one of the most sold books ever in history. Not far from the Bible. I've got to go to my Italian heritage. Pinocchio. Pinocchio, at the end of the movie, is dead to rights.
Okay.
face down in the water for a prolonged period of time. Geppetto believes he's dead. Last second, the blue fairy comes in, turns him into a real boy, and everybody's happy.
That's a good one. I mean, I could attack it and be mean, but it's actually a good choice. So, why is he dead again? I don't understand.
He's basically drowned.
But he's a wooden puppet. I mean, why does he need oxygen? Isn't that a little weird?
I don't know, man. But
I mean,
he's
you
out
never
for the
thought
count.
this before. The man's a puppet, or he's a little. Well, he doesn't need to breathe.
Well, I mean, he's partially because he half turned to a donkey. So part of it has to have some of the same requirements.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, let's recap it. All right, John's list. MJ, No Way Home. So stupid. Jules and Vince in Pulp Fiction. Helen in True Lies, and Pinocchio in Pinocchio. I had Mia Wallace in Pulp Fiction, Nelson Wright in Flatliners, Tony Stark in Avengers, and James Kirk in Star Trek Into the Darkness. John, any also rants?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I had...
I could do some least honorable mentions.
I bet you could. I had Frank Bannister in The Frighteners, played by Michael J. Fox. He almost dies at the end. He wants to go see his wife, but he's pulled back into reality. Fearless is a movie with Jeff Bridges where he's almost dies on a plane crash. And if you lived during the 90s, you remember the commercials. They were pretty funny. Jim Gordon in Dark Knight Rises, and I had possibly Baymax in Big Hero 6, but that's about it. That's all I had. What are your what would be the best non-honorable mention? Like, can we?
I would say the refrigerator scene from
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
I would give you that. He should have definitely been dead. How about Han Solo?
Actually, I was going to go with Leia.
Princess Leia. Yeah, that would be a good one.
That whole Force
I guess
Ghost,
anybody
yeah.
from that franchise, pretty much, right? Any of the main characters, even Luke. He almost died. Maybe. Not really.
Not really.
All right. Well, there we go. Mount Rushmore of some near-death experiences or close calls. So there you go. Well, that's the episode. It was fun. It was more fun than I thought it would be, you know. But hey,
Sometimes train wrecks can be fun.
it was a last-minute thing, and I appreciate John for even coming up with the list. Otherwise, we would just been talking for the next 30 minutes. Which
Nobody
people,
wants that.
maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But we've come up to the end of the episode, guys. So hopefully you have enjoyed it. I want to thank everyone tonight that was in the chat. This is fantastic. Great group of people. Go check out Chris and Zach's podcast, Decibel Geek Podcast. Highly recommend it. I download it every week and give it a listen. We got Jason Steen of Scoop Nashville. Scoop Nashville almost needs no introduction. It's one of the most popular news websites in Nashville. So scoopnashville.com, and our buddy Half Pint, our friend Daniel, everybody else is in there. Thank you guys so much. Check it out. And if you want more of us in your life, you go to bybpod.com. That's bybpod.com. That's our website. You can get on there, grab all of the past episodes, find us on social media, get all those links. And John, what else can they do while they're there?
On that website, you'll see a little thing called an Amazon affiliate link. If you have to do any shopping and Amazon is the key, go to our site first, click on that Amazon affiliate link, and we get a portion of everything that you spend, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So help out your boys and help out yourself. Win-win.
Win-win situation. Remember, if you like this shirt, Nashville versus all of y'all, go to local615.com. I personally endorse those T-shirts. It's good stuff. They got merchandise as well. If you're in Nashville, showing when you love this city that we live in. Yeah, check out the podcast. Tell all your friends about it. If you're in the YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe it where you don't miss it next week. Grab the podcast, rate, review. With all that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Hope you're okay, Kyle. The end.